tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And please turn on the notification bell. That way, every time I upload a video, you'll be the first one to see it. Let's get into it. What we're going to talk about, we talk about celebrity news, celebrity gossip, what's going on IG and Google, fair use, copyright disclaimer, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. And don't forget, the Cash App is Let's Talk About It Media. And thank you for your love and support.
So don't forget to like, to comment, but be kind, and also turn on the notification bell. Okay, so let's get straight to it. I really enjoyed this interview, part 2, with Nene and Carlos King. Let's get to it. She talked about being on the show. Carlos thanked everyone for the show going viral. She said that she wishes things could be settled, but she gets why it's not settled. She said she can't go through the information about the lawsuit. She'll just be general about what's going on. She wishes things did not happen that has happened, but she feels that things are totally unfair of how she's treated and how other people are treated. She says it's unfair how they try to say she did something. There's no proof of it. It wasn't her, but they'll put out that it was her. She said that certain people get away with things that she doesn't get away with. And it's very clear. And she's basically, for years and years, they were having meetings. They were texting each other, group messaging, saying things aren't fair, things aren't right. Let's make it equal across the board. She said other shows has had way worse altercations than she has. She had talked about the guy being in her closet, basically saying he was in her way. She mentioned how someone pushed Andy down, and he's the actual producer, and, he's a boss. So how is it that what she did trying to pull the guy out of her closet, and she had told them, don't go in there. So I got to tell you twice not to go in my closet. So she had mentioned in regards to the unfairness, the proof of it, how she had seen for years how they were trying to dumb down certain stuff, and it was in her face. And then when she would speak up, and others would speak up too, it became apparent after time. She then started getting from 20 to 18 to 16 to 10 episodes to then 6. And we understand that there was a transition that Bravo was going through in regards to, they were getting rid of a lot of older Housewives castmates because they were looking at 90 Day Fiance, great ratings, barely paying people to even, you would see after 2 or 3 years, like 90 Day Fiance, it's like, why are they still living in that house? They're pretty much famous. They should be living in a better house. It almost takes 2 or 3 years for some of the 90 Day Fiance people to even get on their feet. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Bravo did a whole shift. They did a whole clean out. It's like, why are we paying these salaries? So right now, Carlos and Nene feels that the cash should be almost wiped clean. She says some of the girls are just not bringing it. It's just not there. It's almost like they're trying to force it. So, let's see. The mistreatment, the episodes, the altercations, and she had said that, of course, Real Housewives of Atlanta has fallen, and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is still top, and she almost feels that they're okay with that. She said she doesn't think that Bravo thought that they would be number one, and now that they're not number one, and you're asking yourself, why aren't you doing something about it? I get that. If you know, then you know. And she had spoke about Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel is able to speak, say whatever she wants, and she doesn't get dragged or talked about. Everybody's like, oh, that's her opinion. But if Nene said the same things that Bethany said, then Nene would get called out and saying that's not right. She said she has spoke with Bethany, and she feels that Bethany definitely speaks her mind. And Bethany are in rooms she can't even get into, but if Nene says what Bethany says, it would not be as accepted. Okay. Let's see. The socialites, they have proof in regards to text messages. In regards to Kim, she felt that Kim would be able to do whatever she wanted. She could show up for a trip if she wanted to, or she didn't have to. And it's like, okay, allegedly, all comments are alleged, in our opinion. Allegedly, Kim didn't have to show up for trips if she didn't want to. And the girls were still expected to bring it. And then Kim would still get a check for even not going on a trip. She felt that they had mentioned the concerns that they have in regards to the favoritism or the unfavoritism. And there's text messages, there's meeting. She said she used to be able to contact the producers one-on-ones, have a conversation, but of course they've gotten so big, everybody has to go through somebody to get through a producer. So we get that. She spoke out on the show, Watch What Happens Live. She feels that the Housewives really helped in regards to his ratings, in regards to helping the Watch What Happens Live show be strong and what it is. Let's see. She feels that the fans want her back, but she would like to um, do other opportunities. I think that so many people over the last 2 weeks spoke out in regards to Nene need to wake up. They're not going to have her back. She needs to wake up. So she basically said she would only come back for the fans. But we understand if you're in litigations, you're not going to come back. Okay. She basically said and stated Candy's not a star. She feels that people love Candy's family, but she feels that Candy doesn't bring it. So when you go into the neighborhood talk, Candy's calling her out. People are calling her out in regards to what she said about Andy. But if you really listen to what she's saying in regards to race concerns, she's basically saying that some people do have favoritism and some things that other people do are overlooked than what is overlooked from her. So if somebody else had an altercation, they're still on the show. But if you pull a guy's shirt, you're not on the show. Other people can speak up, but she cannot speak up. So if you think about it, it is basically saying, I'm this color, I can't get away with, saying this, doing this, and other people are done way worse with the altercations, throwing stuff, So, she basically says Candy's overrated, overpaid. Candy was in the comments basically calling her out, saying you're just mad because you don't hold the position anymore. I like how Carlos King gave her flowers, saying that she should be far more ahead than what she is. He felt that her livelihood was basically stifled. She has spoke about her relationship with Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams was shading her, and then she would be like, "We just had a great time together," and then she would throw some more shade, and she was like, "Well, what's going on? Why is this happening?" So she talked about Wendy talking about her having a purse. And many people, I remember that time, many people were drawing on the purse. Wendy kind of shaded Nene, saying, Kim Kardashian can afford to do that. You cannot. Why are you doing that? And she did shade her. Many people are like, Wendy, why would you do that? Nene's a millionaire and Kim was a millionaire. Now, how much? I don't know. She also felt that Kim Kardashian had more opportunities than she did. They were doing some of the same similar things. Nene at the time started off before Kim Kardashian. And of course, they were both doing Shoe Dazzle. But their show was able to promote more things than, of course, Bravo people. She felt that Kim Kardashian was pushed in the forefront, given more opportunities, more rooms, more people to meet with, and she was liked. Despite, of course, what she did, she was well known, well liked, and they feel that Nene's career was stifled. Now, this is the other thing. The shade from Wendy Williams. Nene was supposed to have a sit-down show. She didn't know for sure who the co-host that would be joining her, but there was a few that she had heard about. But Wendy kept throwing shade at Nene, and which was interesting because she would talk about Nene, but then there's be times she barely said anything about Nene, but there was a time she kept saying stuff, kept doing stuff. And anybody like, what's up with Nene? I mean, what's up with Wendy? So then all of a sudden when Nene starts speaking out and saying, hey, check yourself. Soon as Nene spoke up, the opportunity for her to have her own show was removed. So sometimes you got to be careful who is gaslighting you to speak. They're gaslighting you to get rid of you. So you really got to be careful. So Nene lost the opportunity to have her own show. And she has, proof of certain things. But let's go there. But okay. They talked about a lot. I think the interview went really good. We get why she feels how she feels. Her and Carlos King are possibly talking about doing something on the road. She feels that Carlos King should be flying people in to do sit down. I don't think so. I think Carlos is doing fine for what he can do because he is a producer for several shows. So he doesn't have time to be flying out, you know, getting people checked in. That's even more work for him. You can hit Instagram, go live with them. You can do a Zoom call, go live with them, and then you're done for that day. You know what I'm saying? Prep them. But as you have to fly people out, get their meals, get their hotel. No, I like how he does it. He has to do what he has to do in regards to his capability because he is a producer. And they had asked, why did you decide to have a podcast? He was like, why not? I have the outlook on what the Real Housewives go through. I have an outlook on what producers go through. I have an outlet to call people out if people don't seem like they're bringing it, if they're boring. So why not? In my free time. So people feel that he's messy, but we get why he's messy. He wants to bring the ratings up. But what else? They talked about other things. If I have to do a part two, I'll do a part two. I watched it, then I watched again half of it because then I started taking notes. But I get what Nene's saying. I get how she feels. And I do feel that there's some underlying situationships. If you feel that you're being treated unfairly, as famous as she is, was people jealous of her becoming too big? And it was stifled because if other people had altercations and they're still making money, showing up to different events, able to, and then you have a situationship too, but yours is more magnified than everybody. So that's a big issue. Carlos talked about if he wants to have children. He was like, yes, and I would teach them this and that, and she would be fabulous. But I would love to see Nene and Carlos King work together, work on projects. She had stated, he had asked if you would be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said, well, I'm not married, but I would be like a single girl. She said some of the single girls are out there, but she said if you bring a cast that's gonna bring it. Don't bring no person that's gonna be fake. She said who would go toe to toe with her was Claudia Jordan. She said Claudia Jordan was coming for her. She said she should have a peach and she should have been able to keep that peach. She said out of a lot of the housewives, Claudia Jordan will go toe to toe with me. She said she almost would have to pull out things from her wig to come back with shade. So I really liked it. Was there anything else that was real noticeable? No, I just hope they work together. He feels that she should be giving her flowers. She talked, like I said, about the episodes going from 20 to 18 to 16 to 10 12 to 6, and she felt that it was coming because she was speaking up. And Carlos King spoke about how she's been there for other people and she would help and she would assist. And she felt that no one really, in some of the shows, Nene was an anchor, kind of helping, kind of directing, kind of helped the show flow. She said that they almost tried to put Sheree almost in that, but then something transpired. She talked about Kenya in regards to bring how she was a shining light being brought in, but then when people felt that she was like a mean girl, it was kind of messed with her a little bit. But she spoke about Marlo having a peach. She spoke about Marlo bringing it. And some of the girls allegedly should be ashamed of themselves because Marlo was a friend of a friend. And now she's a castmate with the peach. And if she's bringing it more than the other girls that's been on there, how's that possible that Marlo's bringing more than them? When she was a friend of a friend, and now she's a castmate. Why isn't Candy bringing it, allegedly? Why isn't Sheree bringing it more, allegedly? Why isn't she? She's kind of okay with Drew. She don't really watch TV, but she watched clips of the show. But I'm gonna try and cut this video short. I really liked it. Might do a part two if I feel I need to, but I really like how Candy and Carlos have a relationship, and I'm happy that he's actually. Let's go to the lawsuit part of it. I'm really happy that he's there for her for a sounding board because he knows what it took for her to be where she was. He knows what it took. Carlos knew the housewives. He knew the different scenes. He knew the different husbands. He knew the different kids, and he knew how to bring it to make the show pop. So, but you know, I don't know. At some point, he actually started crying. And I felt that. I really felt that because it's like you see such a successful lady, she trends sometimes when they should be trending. And she could just show a picture of her, Peter, and the guy she was dating, you know, dot, dot, dot. The girls is mad. I don't want to say her saying because I don't know if it's trademark, but I'm happy that Nene's doing well. I want to see her continue to rise. It's funny because sometimes women don't have that it factor. Nene has that it factor. She's genuinely funny, genuinely entertaining, genuinely a good person on TV. Some people don't have it. And she's basically said, I put it all out, you know? So, well wishes. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe.